The National Guard in Washington, D.C. is now armed as it continues President Trump's directive to fight crime in our nation's capital. But the bigger question this week is, where will President Trump's quest to curb lawlessness go next? He's mentioned New York, Chicago, and now potentially Baltimore. Over the weekend, President Trump intensifying his rivalry with Democratic Governor Westmore of Maryland. Governor Westmore of Maryland has asked in a rather nasty and provocative tone that I walk the streets of Maryland with him. I assume he's talking about out-of-control crime-ridden Baltimore, President Trump wrote on Truth Social. I will send in the troops, which is being done in nearby D.C., and quickly clean up the crime, the president added. Governor Moore responded Sunday.
The last time the homicide rate was this low in Baltimore City, I wasn't born yet. I will never activate members of our National Guard for theatrics.
Trump's threat of sending the National Guard to Baltimore comes as the National Guard continues to patrol Washington, D.C., which has seen a moderate drop in crime since Trump's directive took effect. Trump has previously talked of soon moving into even more American cities like New York, and he said this about Chicago last week.
Chicago's a mess, and we'll straighten that one out probably next.
Over the weekend, the Washington Post reported how the Pentagon is involved in drafting up plans to possibly deploy to Chicago soon. The Chicago Tribune reported Sunday that local and state leaders in Illinois who largely opposed Trump met to discuss how they would respond, including Illinois' Democratic Attorney General.
Turning the military against the American citizens in cities on American land is unprecedented, and it's unheard of.
Under federal law, the president is allowed to deploy the National Guard under certain circumstances. Many Democrats have said, though, that that threshold has not been met. If the president expands the National Guard to other cities, it will likely be more difficult for him, at least from a legal perspective, than it has been in Washington, D.C., since Washington, D.C. is not a state. Joe St. George, Scripps News Group, Washington.